Hey guys, Nishquick here. I was almost not about to make this video. I kept telling myself, maybe don't make this video, and the only reason I felt like doing that is because I felt like I would rub some people the wrong way, but I really need to get this off my chest. Gamefreak really needs to change, and they just need to learn to make better quality games for the Nintendo Switch. And it's funny because I made a video about this last December, around the time when Scarlet and Violet were really in their big hype phase and everyone was playing them, everyone was talking about them, and you can check out that video. My point is, since then, I have played 2 games which have kind of escalated that idea in my mind, and I want to say right here, I want to state a claim right here. You guys can hold me to this claim. I am not going to buy a single Pokemon game. I will not buy a single Gamefreak game until some serious changes are made in that company. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, and I'm going to be talking about those 2 games that made me feel this way and kind of make me make this video. Alright, let's talk about it. What are those 2 games that made me feel this way? Well, you guys can probably already guess. It's the games I talk about a lot on the channel. It is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, plus Future Redeemed, and of course, very recently, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And you're like, oh, what do these games have anything to do with Pokemon? Well, first, let's look back at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I do not own them. I never paid the $60 or the $120 for the dual pack. I did not get these games. But you might ask, Nishquick, what do you have to say about this game, having not played this game? Well, I've played this game. My friends have brought their copies over to my place, and I played it for an extended period of time. I've gone over to their place, played it on their Switches. I have not played a game like this in a while. Like, I don't think I've ever played a game like this, and it made me think, this just, it doesn't feel like a Switch game. And you might say, oh, well, it does, because it looks blurry, it looks jagged, it runs bad. Well, alright, well, what about Xenoblade 3? Look at all these vistas, look at all the things you can do in this game. Look at the combat in this game. 7 characters on screen at once, and it's still running smoothly. Whereas in Pokemon, when it's just 2 Pokemon fighting each other, there is some frame drops, there is some glitches, some Pokemon can like fall through the floor, and like it's not a polished experience, you know? I just sit down and think to myself, like, Game Freak put out this game with glitches, with bugs, with performance issues, and it's just a half-baked, incomplete mess of a game, and I have seen people defending them, and that's where I have some issues. And especially when Tears of the Kingdom came out. Tears of the Kingdom is almost a bigger and more expansive game than anything I've seen in modern AAA gaming. It is more expansive in its verticality, in its scope, and its scale than even some games I've played on my PlayStation 5. And I'm not saying like, oh, Tears of the Kingdom looks better, runs better, no. But I'm just saying that there's no other game I've ever played in my life that has you go from the sky, like in the sky, like high up in the sky, down to the surface, and then from that surface you can go down into the depths, like in the underground, the underbelly of the earth. No other game I have ever seen has ever done that. None. And if there is a game that has done that, please let me know in the comments below. I will buy that game like right when I see that comment, because I wanna try it out. I wanna see how it compares to Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. But you think about the things you can do in Tears of the Kingdom. You can build all these hovercrafts and mechs and machines with your Ultra Hand, and you can fly around and do all this stuff wherever you are in the world, whether you're in the sky, the surface, or the depths. You can do it anywhere, anytime. I will give you guys an explanation of some of my experiences with Pokemon. In Pokemon, I was running in like a grassy field, and then eventually I got on my friend's Miraidon, and I was just riding, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just a whole bunch of NPCs just popped up, and I was like, that doesn't feel normal, that feels very weird. Where were these NPCs like 2 seconds ago. And then I keep going, and then a bunch of Pokemon just pop up right in front of me. And I again say that's not normal. It was also buggy, it was glitchy, and it was running at a very, very low frame rate. And it was very noticeable. I know a lot of people say that their eyes are not as sensitive to frame rates as other people. That's fine. It's fine. That's okay. I can really tell when a game goes from 30 to below 30, and especially from 60 to below 60. And I always pride the Nintendo Switch for being very consistent with its performance. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 hardly ever dipped below 30 frames per second for me. And if it did, then it was because something extremely massive and explosive was happening on screen. Tears of the Kingdom did dip below 30 frames per second a few times, but again, it's when something expansive and explosive was happening. But also, you wanna know something? You wanna know something that helped Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Tears of the Kingdom maintain that 30 FPS on the Nintendo Switch is performance patches and updates. How many have we gotten for Pokemon? Yeah, how many? I'm a little flabbergasted and a little genuinely shocked that Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has gotten at least 2 or 3 performance patches, which also fix some bugs and glitches here and there, like duplication glitches and all that. It's fixed all that, but it's also added performance stability to these games. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has also gotten these here and there with amiibo updates, with DLC updates. You get some performance updates, some bug fixes, some glitches, all that, right? Yeah, where is the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet update? Where is the update that I was actually waiting for? I remember when this game came out in November of last year, and I saw all this stuff that was happening with the game, and I told myself, I don't want to spend $60 on a half-baked, unfinished game like this, so I'm going to wait for the update. It never came. So what am I supposed to do? And as of now, the first wave of the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, the Teal Mask, has released, and we still have 0 performance patches, 0 stability patches, and the game has the same amount of bugs and glitches, if not more than before. A lot of people are straight up not buying the DLC and avoiding the DLC and just not dropping the money on this in response to Gamefreak's apathy for not even patching the game. That's where my frustration with Gamefreak comes in. They keep just churning out game after game after game, and it is very sad that they have the mindset that consumers like us will look past all of this stuff and just say, it is Pokemon, I will get it because it is Pokemon. I'm sad. I'm really sad. And you know why I'm really sad is because Pokemon was one of my favorite video game franchises. Pokemon got me started with video games, and I always dreamed about what a next generation, truly high quality, high fidelity Pokemon game would be, and it was not this. And you guys can always say the gameplay is good, the game itself is good, the game itself is fun. Yeah, sure it is, but I just don't feel right supporting a game in this state when the Nintendo Switch is capable of so much more, with not only Xenoblade 3 and Future Redeemed, but the rest of the Xenoblade series. Even go so far back as Xenoblade Chronicles X on the Wii U. Like, that game took time and effort and just patience to develop. Same with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And same goes for, like, most other quality AAA games on the Switch. And you kind of go back and look at Pokemon and you just see annual releases, because as consumers, don't we want what's best for the franchise? Don't we want what's best for ourselves? And again, I really hope I'm not really offending anyone here, because I know a lot of people really enjoyed these games, and I almost didn't want to make this video because I felt like I would kind of upset some people like that, because I know a lot of people who unapologetically love Scarlet and Violet. And if you do, then that's great. Like, have fun with it and continue having fun with it. And I also know some people who enjoy Scarlet and Violet but are noticing that something is not right with Game Freak, and something needs to change, and that this game could have been so much better if they took their time with it. And I look back at all these developers in Nintendo, and the gap between some of their games is very long. Like, look at this. Breath of the Wild was March 2017. Tears of the Kingdom was May 2023. Think about how many Pokemon games came out in that span of time. And just to put it in perspective here, we have had 2 Pokemon releases this year just like last year. So last year in 2022 we had Pokemon Legends Arceus in January and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in November. And this year we had the Teal Mask DLC in September, and we have Detective Pikachu Returns in October. And Detective Pikachu Returns, I have to be honest, is easily one of the worst looking Nintendo Switch games I have ever seen. You know that joke people make about Switch games looking like PS2 games? And I've never agreed with that. I never agree with any of those jokes and any of those takes, but you could kind of make that comparison with Detective Pikachu Returns. Like, look at this game. This game is just not up to standards, guys. I don't even know what to say. And I'm not saying like I want like Generation 9 to come out in 2027 and Generation 10 to come out in 2035 or something. No. Well, like, Pokemon may not ever be at the scale and scope of The Legend of Zelda or Xenoblade Chronicles or anything like that, but I'm just saying, if they take their time with these games, I feel like I will get the Pokemon experience that I have always wanted. I feel like we will be really rewarded for our patience, and I feel like waiting 4 years between Generation 8 and Generation 9, I didn't really see what I was hoping for. Sure, the open world is cool, sure, some of the mechanics in the game are cool, but it's not really up to standards. It's not up to Nintendo Switch standards. It's not up to Nintendo's quality and standards. And even Nintendo has come out and said that they don't feel like this game is up to standards, and it could be better, it could be patched, and like there are rumors about a patch coming with a new system or something, but like, do we really have to wait for a new next generation Nintendo system to get a patch for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? I think that's pretty insane. Excuse my language here, I don't usually talk like this on the channel, but Game Freak really needs to get their shit together. I just needed to get this off my chest. After playing Tears of the Kingdom, I really felt to myself, I was like, Game Freak needs to change. Game Freak needs to really figure stuff out, because this is very unfortunate to see Game Freak, a development studio that I loved so much. I binged Leaf Green and Fire Red as a kid. I binged Diamond Pearl and Platinum as a kid. I binged Black and White as a kid, and I'm gonna close out with this one thing. There have been recent rumors that there is going to be a Unnova style game coming soon. Some of you might know this about me, that Pokemon Black and White is my favorite Pokemon game of all time. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. I will be a little upset, a little bummed if it comes out next year. And it's not because like I don't want a Pokemon game immediately. If they do Black and White, if they remake Black and White, if they remake Unnova, which I think is the best generation of Pokemon, if they remake Unnova, I sure hope it's not as simplistic and as basic and as bare bones as Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. If they do a Pokemon Legends for Unnova, that would be nice. I really enjoyed Arceus, but I want them to take their time with it. If they do a Unnova game, if they do a Legends, if they do Pokemon Black and White, if they do something like that, I am straight up saying this, and I'm being 100% transparent and honest with this right now. I am willing to wait till 2027, 2026, 2027, however long it takes for them to make this remake or Legends game, however long it takes for them to make it as good, as polished, as perfect as it can be. Because I don't want them to screw up Unnova, and I feel like they might, but that's another discussion for another time. Maybe we'll talk about it next year when it's announced and released and it runs at like 15 FPS. All jokes aside, I hope I didn't really rub anyone the wrong way with this, but I just needed to get that off my chest. I hope people understand that this doesn't necessarily mean me hating on Pokemon and saying Pokemon sucks or anything. I just want to see Pokemon do better. I want to see Game Freak do better, especially after seeing what the Nintendo Switch is capable of with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. And yeah, this is Nishquick signing off. Have a great day. Like the video, subscribe for more content like this, and go play some great games today, like some good quality open world games on the Nintendo Switch. I'll see you guys in the next one later. Hey guys, this is Nishquick. Thank you so much for watching that video, and if you enjoyed it, check out these two videos on the left, and if you aren't subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button on the way out? I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and see you later.